Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to this month's Business Forum. I am Tammy McGaughy, Chair of the Greater Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce, and today I have two very special guests, Miss Lisa Jo Spencer, a probate attorney with Lisa Jo Spencer PA, and Miss Marnie Tate, an insurance consultant with Northwestern Mutual. Thanks both of you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
And I'm excited because this is my very first hosting of the Business Forum, and what great people to have. Both of you have been involved in the Chamber for quite some time. Lisa Jo, I got to see you as the chair during my tenure on the board, and Marnie, you were the very first female president of the Chamber Board. So welcome. I'm very excited for today. So if Lisa Jo, I'll start with you. If you could share with me what your experience was on the board and what benefit you got from it.
Oh gosh. It was one of the highlights really of my career. It was so much fun, and that's what I've told you this from the beginning. You just have to have fun, you have to roll with it, you just have to, you know, there's going to be crazy things that happen, but you just have to kind of smile and go on. But just enjoy meeting all the people. That was wonderful. I tried to take some of the new members to lunch just so I could get to know some new people, and it was just great. As far as the benefit I got out of it, oh my goodness, there's nothing like the recognition. One of the things though that's kind of scary is people know you and you don't know them, and so you're kind of like, oh, deer in headlights when people come up and say, oh, hi.
Absolutely. Well, I know you have done a fantastic job, and we'll get into some of the projects that came about from your leadership. So Marnie, I want to start with you. You again were the very first female president of the Chamber Board, and that is a huge success and a roadmap for other women to follow. So tell me about your experience on the board.
It was a phenomenal year, but it was also a journey of 1,000 steps to get to being, back then, Chamber President. I became active in the Chamber, Tammy, when I was 26 years old. I was a teller in a bank. I'd never sold anything in my life except Tupperware, and I was really bad at that. And my branch manager back then wanted me to get involved in the Chamber and in the community. So I joined some of the committees, and one of the committees was selling Chamber memberships. The first time I went into a business to try to sell them on the Chamber, I was terrified and mumbled and stumbled and bumbled, and he bought. And I got excited about the fact that I could see our community grow and our Chamber of Commerce grow by selling Chamber memberships. So that's where I got my start. I eventually joined, through the years, every committee, because this was back in the 1980s. And before I even became president-elect of the Chamber, I had been vice president of every single one of the divisions. So I had really gotten my start and put my feet on the street to make this happen. When all was said and done, I was fortunate enough to have sold over 200 Chamber memberships to businesses like ours to come join this happy and productive family. Then it fell to Randy Stokes, who just recently passed away, I'm sorry to say, an incredible man who had the vision to hire a volunteer, a young, blonde, 34-year-old female, to take the helm of the Chamber, and back then it was also the Committee of 100.
Yes.
So that's how I got my start, and like Lisa Jo said, it was really the best year of my life.
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to 2016. I know for me it's going to push me out of my comfort zone, but I have great mentors to help me along the way. Marty, when I first met you, actually you were selling insurance to my husband and I, life insurance, and we had young kids, and I would never have guessed that you were shy, or not a natural salesperson, because you really are a natural salesperson. So
thank you. I have such passion for the work I do. I've been a financial advisor now with Northwestern Mutual for 35 years. I'm celebrating my 35th year in business this year, and I look at the planning, holistic planning, incorporating long-term care, which I'm passionate about, life insurance, investments. I do it all.
awesome. Now, Lisa Jo,
Yes.
Being on the board and watching you grow, each year a chamber leader usually has some vision,
Right.
and I know the homelessness issue is such a big, important part of our community,
Right.
and you led that. So could you kind of share your thoughts on how things are going and what the future holds? for
Sure,
us?
sure. What an exciting couple of months we've just had with One Hopeful Place and Community Solutions, which is the brainchild of the Fort Walton Beach Chamber, and I'm fortunate to still be a board member of that. We couldn't do it, of course. It is a community solution.
Yes.
And so we couldn't do it without all of our community partners and all of the, all the folks that really work in the trenches. But we're fortunate, the city of Fort Walton Beach has graciously leased to us a facility up on the North Beale extension that they no longer are using. And so we're renovating and tearing down the buildings up there. I mean, and the potential is amazing of all the different things we can do. But the demolition started this week.
I saw that.
It was in the paper. And so we're very excited so that the construction can begin. And in June of 2016, we should have what will be next year's Cold Night Shelter, or the 2016-2017 season. Cold Night Shelter will be ready, as well as a transitional shelter for veterans, and it'll be able to house 10 veterans. And it's a phased approach. We obviously need lots and lots and lots of money. We've gotten some grant money to start the first 2 phases, both of which will be completed in June of 2016. So we're really excited, and there's lots and lots of movement and lots of excitement, and we're just thankful to have all of the folks that work in the housing to house folks. If you can't provide someone with a house, you can't give them a job. They've got to have a place to sleep, and a comfortable place to sleep, take a shower, and all of that before you can even begin to fix learning, giving them a trade and teaching them whatever education they need or whatever that will be. It's very exciting. Mitch Mongell is the chair of our board, and he has got such amazing visions as far as the sustainability and things to help these folks really, really become super productive members of society, and they're going to be chamber members someday.
Absolutely. And Lisa Jo, I cannot thank you enough for that vision and the leadership that you have shown throughout this to see that project to fruition.
It's been a long road, but we are so excited.
Very
so
good.
excited.
Very good. And both of you have led passionately throughout your careers. And Marnie, I know you have a vision and you live your life with passion, and you actually have a book that you published and was released in 2015, A Passion for Living. Tell me about that book.
Well, I actually brought a copy, Tammy, which is yours. I've inscribed it for you. You get your own copy. I started writing this 10 years ago simply as a memoir for my kids and my grandkids. I had never known my mom, even though I loved her and she was my best friend, but I never really knew what her favorite color was, if she ever even had adventures. So I took this part of this book from a combination of speeches that I gave during my chamber year, actually, and would go into churches and talk about my story. For a while, I was a single mom. I never got the child support I was due. I was homeless for a little while, and it was a really tough time. And that's sort of where this book begins, and it blossoms from there. And I remember, being on my knees in my bedroom as a single mom with a young 4-year-old child, thinking, what does the future hold for me? And that's where I just learned about positive thinking. And that's been my guide and the most important thing in my life, along with my spirituality, as long as I can remember. So I had to stop writing the book for a few years, taking care of my elderly father when he was in a nursing home. And after he passed away a couple years ago, then the creativity came back, and I felt led to just keep going, and it took on a life of its own. So it's a book really written by an ordinary woman, me, who has an extraordinary attitude and vision for what I want my life to be. I now have 6 grandchildren, and they know about the book. The nice thing is it's selling all over the country without any marketing from me yet. And the notes and the cards and the emails I get from people that have read it, it's very inspiring and humbling to see how it's changing lives. So this is your copy.
Well, thank you, Marnie. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited to read it. Passion for living. Both of you have positive attitudes, and one of the things that I try to live on a daily basis is look at the opportunity. Turn a negative into a positive. And in fact, the theme for 2016 for the Chamber is believing and achieving together. So even though someone may feel like they are at the low end of their life, that they have someone that they can look forward, to meeting, or that may have had the same experience. So the relationship, I think, is very, very important, and I'm very excited. So thank you.
You're going to love it.
I will.
You're going to love it.
So thank you. And Lisa Jo, when we get back on the next part of the show, I'd like to talk more about some of the leadership things that you have been involved in. I know both of you have been inducted into the Hall of Fame with the county commissions on women empowering. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you, and we'll be right back.